Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Amanda Moxley and Tory Washington. Hello, Tori.
Hi.
And today we are going to be talking about sales and also really highlighting Tori and her business and her amazing breakthroughs. So, Tori, tell us, who are you? What is your story? What's your mission?
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name's Tory Washington. I'm a spiritual guide and mentor for women, specifically going through career and relationship transitions. So typically, I meet women when they're at that spiritual plateau and they've hit that glass ceiling in their path and need the extra pull forward into their next level of growth. So I do that by teaching them the 12 laws of the universe and really giving them an opportunity to learn how to leverage those laws in a way that's going to get them to the next level of success that they're craving, either in their relationship or their career.
That is awesome. Now, of course, we want to all know those 12 laws. So,
Yeah.
tell me this. Okay, so tell us, because I remember when you first started coaching with me a few months ago. Tell us a little bit about where you were before you started working with me and what's happened since. Like, what were you struggling with?
Yeah, the biggest thing I was struggling with in my business was my niche and just figuring out who I was talking to and what exactly I wanted to focus on.
Mhm.
And I think whenever you're starting your business, it's you want to help everybody, right? Because that's your whole purpose is that you want to like change the world and do all these things. And I have such a colorful background. I came from corporate America working 9 to 5 in real estate to managing yoga studios, some of the biggest yoga studios in Chicago, Illinois, to teaching yoga full time, to being an event planner. So I have like this huge resume of stuff. And at the same time, I'm also to the core an intuitive spiritual woman. And in every career I've had, I've noticed that in corporate America, event planning, teaching yoga, there was this common thread of just lack of fulfillment. But even that is so vague. So I was centering my business around helping women feel more fulfilled, but I wasn't really getting the clients that I actually wanted, or I wasn't really like teaching on the stuff I actually wanted.
Mhm.
It wasn't like it was an unsuccessful business, but I started to resent it because it wasn't really fueling me. So before I started working with Amanda or you, it was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why, who am I talking to? And what am I doing? And it was great because within our first call, like we ironed it all out. So it's not that you don't have the answers within you. It's just like having an hour dedicated to someone asking you the right questions so that you start to hear yourself say it. And it's like, oh, that's what I want to do. Okay. And like, then it's just giving yourself permission, which when I invested in you, it kind of gave me that permission to go for it. And okay, now I'm here. Like, let's do it.
Oh, I love that. So you came from this very background. I'm hearing myself talk.
I only hear you once.
Okay, good. Let me close these pieces. So what I hear you saying is like you had all this varied background, which so many of us women have, and that, but there was this theme where people were not fulfilled or that glass ceiling, and so it's like I love what you're saying. We all we do all have these answers inside of us, but it's like as close as your neck vein, and you sometimes cannot see it.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, you can't see your neck vein. So I remember because I did the video. Maybe some of you are watching have seen it, but I have this video like I can nail an ideal client's niche in 5 minutes or less. And then Tori was like, I want that. And then I, I remember that was such a breakthrough for you to even like step up and invest in working to say yes to yourself to get what you want. And what has happened? What was that like for you to actually invest in yourself at that high level to get coaching to get this drawn out of you?
It was the scariest thing I've ever done. It was so scary, but it was that fear that it was either do that or stay where I was, and it was scarier to stay where I was, and it was to just like go for the investment. And I think you just get to that threshold where you just do it. And yeah, it was so scary. But then as I was like in my sales conversations and as I was talking to my clients after that, I already had so much more confidence because I was like, I just invested this much money in myself and I know you can too. And so it all goes back to like, you can only take your clients and your students as far as you've gone. And I didn't even really know what to expect from the whole 3 months, but I just knew that if I were to take this big step, it was going to open up so many other doors. And that's exactly what happened within like 1 month.
Totally. I love it. It is so scary, but you're looking at it, you're like, well, what is the alternative? Just stay where I am or actually move forward? And then it's so true because like that's when I'm like on these conversations with people, and I know you're like that now. You're just like, you can just do it. Like I know it's scary. You got to feel the fear, but honestly, your fear is just bigger than actually the taking the action. So just take the action and then the fear goes away.
Exactly.
So what have been some of your biggest results? Like what happened after that initial conversation when we, nailed down, we didn't nail down your niche in the breakthrough conversation. It was once you decided and you stepped up to actually decide to claim this. That is then we had our first coaching call. What happened on that call? And then what were some of the results that you got?
The first call, we definitely nailed down my niche. I think with the breakthrough call, for anybody who hasn't done a breakthrough call, it's an opportunity for you to hear how big your dream is, and an opportunity for you to be like, wow, I actually want to do something so much bigger than I've even admit to myself. Because maybe for the first time, someone's asking you, like, what do you want? And it's so liberating. So even if you don't sign up for a coach after a breakthrough call, it's just like, okay, wow, I have something in me. It's not just lying dormant. And then the first call that we had, like our first coaching call, we were talking about just the program that I wanted. I think I would just had an opportunity to like purge it all out. And then we took some time to just organize it and come up with a strategic way to word it and to simplify it so that other people can understand. Because for me as a spiritual guide, I don't know how many of them are on here, but it's difficult because not everybody has the same spiritual language. And even in business, like you could be like, your copy has to relate to the person you're talking to, and that goes along with your niche. So we did a lot of work on my copy and just like, what words did I want to use, and who was I targeting, and what do they talk like, and who are they? So between that and the niche, I was able to create a program that actually didn't feel yucky to sell. I was like, I'm actually like, even if one person signs up, like I'm freaking stoked. Yeah. And I went into it with that attitude, and I haven't had that much excitement around what I was creating in my business in so long. And I think that's why a coach is so helpful. Like, yeah, you're going to get the strategy and stuff, but just to have another person alongside you who's excited. Because let's be honest, we're like usually sitting in our living rooms by ourselves, like, is this going to work? And so like to have somebody say, yes, that's so exciting. It was really liberating. And again, gave me that permission to go out there and start talking about it. So after that first call, I think we like had the program done, and I made the sales page that week and started signing people up.
Right.
Like almost instantly.
Yeah. And you had a goal. I remember it was a breakthrough so much. And so you had a goal of a certain amount. And so tell us a little bit about your goal and the results you got.
So my goal is to sign up, I think 10 women. Yeah, it was like 10 women. And I had a workshop coming up, divinely enough, like the week after our breakthrough call. So I had just casually said, like, maybe I'll sign up a few women from this workshop. And Amanda was like, no, this is like your talk. Like, go in there and talk and invite people to have a breakthrough session with you. Like, this is a chance to convert them from an in-person workshop client to this online program that you're running. So after that workshop, I had, I think, like 10 breakthrough sessions. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, holy crap. Like okay, so now I have them on the phone. And then I literally did the sales video I think I skipped ahead into the sales video because that was the biggest thing that was tripping me up. Like, I didn't really have problems with like the webinars and stuff like that. It was like, how do I sell them after that? So I remember printing out the thing. I had like my little piece of paper, and I was like, okay, step 1, step 2 on Amanda's like sales sheet. And I'm like breathing so heavy, like sweating, like going through each of these steps. I did hear no the first time, but I was like, okay, I need to just relax a little bit, because if I'm afraid, they're going to be even more afraid. And after that, it was just like, yes, yes, yes. I booked, I think, 5 women in 1 week. And then I hit 10 by the end of the first month, but then more people were signing up. I went to 15. So I had 15 people before I did 15 people for my like first like layer. I did it in 2 parts. And then the second part, since more people were interested, I added on 5 more women. And so I had 15 women for the first program.
Huge.
Insane.
brand new program.
Yeah, I'd never taught it before.
And how were you? And yeah, because the niche wasn't even nailed down because you weren't even sure the language and the copy and the ideal.
Right.
And then that is incredible. And then tell me what happened with the so with the sales, how were you at sales before like going through that sales cheat sheet?
I think with the sales, I mean, I don't have a problem talking to people or talking to people about my stuff. I actually am pretty confident in that department. I think where we just get tripped up is asking for the money and asking for the sales. So I would get them to the end. They got the result they wanted at the end of the breakthrough. We did everything, got them clear, but I wasn't asking for what I wanted. And that comes from a lack of belief in what you're offering and like a lack of excitement. So it's that sales process takes you all the way through to the end. And then at the end, you're not only asking them for the sale, but you're also qualifying them as a client for you. Because it's like, you don't want to say yes to just everybody, because then you're going to get a hodgepodge of, and I used to do that. I would get like a wacky group who's like, what did I do? And so with Amanda's sales process at the end, why I remember one of the questions is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how ready are you? And if they're at a 5, it's like, okay, well, here's my free workshop. You can listen to that, but I'm not available for 5s. Like, right. If you're a 10, then at that point, I was like, okay, they're a 10, I'm a 10. It's no problem to ask for the sale at that point. And once I did it a bunch of times, it was like, it became easier and easier and easier just to ask for what I wanted because they were ready.
Mm. And it really isn't even about, it's asking for what you want, but it's also not even about you. It's
right.
Because they want it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like literally this match made in heaven. It's absolutely perfect. And it's not even weird or wonky or salesy. So, and I love that for you honoring yourself, like, because before, I mean, didn't you like, did you double your price? Did you triple your price? Where were you price wise in terms of before and after?
I did. My coaching package before, I think, was like a 8-week thing for $600 or something. It made no sense. Yeah. And then when we ironed everything out, yeah, I think I like tripled my price. It was an $18.97 price point. I did sell most of the spots a little bit lower because of fast action. And now I'm up to 2,200 and I'm just staying there because it's just it's to like go back and forth. And it's like, it's 2,200. If you're a 10, I'm a 10, like, let's do this. Yeah. And again, like once you move through the sales so much and you get through the pricing and you start to receive and you see them receiving, it's like, of course you're going to charge that. Like, I look back at some of the stuff I did for my clients and I was charging $600, $800. And I'm just like, what?
Right.
What was I doing? But that's how you learn. And I got a lot of testimonials out of it and
good
so much. So I think it just, what we did work a lot on a price that feels good, like a price that feels like a stretch, but also feels like in your heart to the core, like, okay, yes, I feel really comfortable charging this, but it also feels like a big jump. So we found that like middle ground, which was super cool.
Right. Because it's not going to work if you're like, it's $10 million, or even if it's 10,000 and you're just like, your belief isn't there. But now your belief is there. We're at the 2,200 and you're like, this is it.
Right.
And now I want to challenge you to even go further when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep getting the results and you're charging on the lifetime value of the transformation you are providing.
Yeah. It's so true.
Right. Okay. So I love it. So you were qualifying the client, you tripled your rates. And now I would say my son is like learning math. So I'm like way into math right now. You tripled it, but now you've quadrupled it. Actually, quadrupled it from the 600 to the 2,200. If it was 2,100, it would be quadruple.
Yeah.
Good job, Tori.
Thank you. Incredible. Yeah.
And okay. And then the other thing is, what other kind of like dynamics did you learn, or what? Because I remember some calls with you and it was like just learning to be a leader. And now you're like stewarding 15 clients. What was that like for you? Like you got what you wanted. Yeah. 15 people you're working through.
That's such a good question because I think it's something that we're not talking about enough as business coaches and even as spiritual teachers and just in the manifestation world in general. We're not really talking about like, what do you do after you get what you want? Because I felt completely blindsided. I was like, I got what I want, but I don't even know how to sustain it. Like, how do I sustain not only this much money, but this many people, this much success, this much good feedback. Like it was just, I received so much at once.
Yeah.
And it was scary at first. And I remember I remember getting resentful again towards my business. It was that same pattern. And I identified in that call with you, like the pattern that I had was like, get what you want. And then I would sabotage it because I wasn't honoring myself in the leadership process. I wasn't leading, I was pleasing my clients. And that's not the place you want to be, because when you step into that pleasing mode, all of a sudden they're leading you. They're coming to you with their excuses. They're not paying you on time. They're showing up 5 minutes late. They're not doing the homework that you gave them. And then it starts to feel like you're a friggin' babysitter is what I call it. And it's like, I'm not an accountability partner or a babysitter.
Right.
And so a lot of the coaching we did beyond that was like, what do I need to do to get vibrationally aligned with holding space for this many people, and be okay with them being pissed off at me sometimes, and be okay with them not always agreeing with me, because if they're not uncomfortable, they're never going to grow. Right. And that made me uncomfortable, seeing them uncomfortable. So we're mirroring each other. And that's where coaching is like, it's such a mindset. You really have to get into that soulful leadership mindset. Like before you even sign up the program, like take yourself out, do what you need to do, because are you ready to truly hold space for that many people? Mm-hmm. And then working to sustain your mindset while you're going through the program. And for me, I remember talking to you, like you kept telling me like, when you do this again, it's going to get easier, because it was my first time running this round. Mm-hmm. And I just started keeping track of like all the stuff I learned, like, okay, this worked brilliantly, that I'll never do again. And you just have to be okay with failing a little bit and not having it all together, so you can iron out the kinks and then do it again.
Mm-hmm. This is why I love mentoring and coaching so much, because I had gone through that when I made $150,000 in 3 days at my first event. And all of a sudden I had like all these clients for a year-long containers. So that was in 2013. So I had already walked that path. So me as a coach and mentor, I can like, I know what's going to happen. So she just received something massive, 15
Mm-hmm.
new clients as a leader. And now you're leading, you're a totally different person. You're dealing with contracts and payments and, and I remember that year, and it wasn't even the clients, it was my own shit and my own dependency issues, where I was like, I'm responsible for them. And it was about me not feeling worthy to receive at that level, when it really has nothing to do with us as a coach. But I had to work through that. And I remember this feeling like, I feel like I have to, and it was nothing about these clients. It was all me, 100% responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for that. But I remember feeling like, I feel like I have to like you said, babysit or wipe their ass. Like I am responsible for them. I have to make sure their bottom is all dry and ready. They can go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's so messed up. So hopefully you guys listening, you're learning from that. Like be prepared, because Tori, you teach manifestation. You were an excellent manifester, and then you got what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that feel to get what you wanted, to like make more money in a month than you had ever made in your business?
I remember feeling pure gratitude. I just remember sitting on my couch like, holy fuck, it works. Like it works. Everything that I've read, everything that I've felt in my heart, it works. It just took this one step. And in a moment in time, everything can change. And I think that's important to remember while you're writing all your emails and while you're in that grind. It's like in one email, in one moment, everything could change. And I just remember feeling so excited. I took like my girlfriends out to dinner. I treated myself. I traveled. It was just like so freeing to have that amount of success, and that just to see everything that I worked so hard for, like finally come into fruition. And I learned so much like about how I receive, where I don't receive really well. It was just like the biggest, best learning experience I could have ever created. Like I created it and had your support and so many other people's support. And it was, I remember just sitting on my couch like, wow, okay.
This is my new normal, my new reality. So,
yeah.
And it was more like a feeling, and it was about the freedom. So you got to travel, you got to take your girlfriends out, you got to have more fun. And like that, I think I love what you're saying. Like as we're working, because I think we're more addicted or used to it being hard and working, pushing and writing our goals and visioning and then doing all this. But then when it finally works, like let that feeling soak in.
Yeah.
And really,
we're like conditioned to believe that okay, I can't get what I want. It's not like, can I get what I want? It's how much do I have to suffer to get what I want? That's sort of like the mental conditioning as women that we've had in the old way. And now we're stepping into this new being of how easy can it be? How fun could it be? Like, how much does it get to be? Because I'm choosing every moment of the day what and how I'm going to receive. And when I wasn't sustaining it, like in the middle of the program, like I started to like freak out, like you saw. And then it allowed me to just go back and say, okay, back to the basics. So the basics are just, and I remember you telling me that you're like, go back to tapping. Are you meditating once a day? Like all the shit that we forget about, that's what got you to your manifestation. So that's what's going to keep you there too. And sometimes we forget those small little things because we're worried about the webinar or the email or like the contract, and all that stuff is obviously necessary. But what's first is that your container is ready to like show up.
Yeah, I was actually listening to this YouTube video the other day, and it's almost like it's crazy how like you get what you want, and then like the enemy comes in, and you're like in this garden of awesome, and then all of a sudden the enemy comes in and starts threatening with you that it's going to be taken away, or you don't deserve it, and you're not worth it, and it tries to pull you back down. So it's like really being diligent to this is my new normal. And I have, like you owned it. Like I did this, I created this versus fear that it's going to be taken away. Cause you up leveled to a whole new normal to make more. You just tripled your rates and enrolled 15 clients. I mean, that is what all of us and all of you listening are working towards. So I love this. Congrats. So when you say like, how long before we started working together, you mentioned this word of like struggling and doing this and not having the clarity, like how long were you struggling before you decided to step up and make this happen for yourself?
I started my business. It's still really new because I was managing yoga studios and still coaching on the side. So it was like a part-time thing. And that didn't feel like a struggle just because I had like a yearly salary, and it felt like a struggle in the sense that I wasn't doing all of what I really wanted, but I was not fully signed up for it yet. And then I quit that job and dedicated time to my business. That was about almost 2 years ago. So I would say I connected with you at the year and a few months mark. And I would say that whole year was kind of a struggle. It was kind of like throw paint at the wall, do this webinar, do this class, just like my inbox flooded with just a bunch of shit telling me like, this is what funnel you need, this is what you need, this is what you need. And yeah, and then when I met you, it was just refreshing because I just wanted to work with one person. I wanted to invest the money I need to invest and get on with the show. And like, yeah, like I said, I think we all get to that point where it's like, do I want to stay in this like this cycle of this cyclical cycle, or do I want to obliterate my ego and push forward? And sometimes the answer is no. And if that's the case, own it and be in it. But like, if you're on the phone with a coach, chances are your soul led you there. So you might as well follow it.
Yeah,
Just like go.
I love that way. Because so what you're saying is, so for a year, like you had all these different people's ideas, and everyone, any list, this is the first thing I have you guys do when you coach with me is F and focus, like a 6-figure speaker or 6-figure coach, multiple 6-figure coach and speaker. The reason why is because all these emails coming in are trying to sell you or convince you or persuade you. And they're very certain on their way. And then you have all these ideas and you're completely confused. So I like it. Then you're like, I just want to focus. And then what was it about the program? Like, what was your favorite part about working with us and working with me and in this? Because I remember you weren't even on the group calls.
No, I couldn't attend the group calls, but I did I think I attended one or two. I think it wasn't. Here's the thing: when you're investing in a coach, you're not really like, in my opinion, I don't really think you're investing in just the material. You're investing in being around the energy of someone who's getting the results that you want. So just knowing that I had you like an email away, or I was like, it's like I invested this money in myself. I'm making payments on this. Like, this is what's pulling me into this new level of growth. And the material is like a bonus because like you have access to it and stuff. So it was great. I love the sales experience. I think the sales is really well done, and it's like ironed out so easy that like literally, like I said, I printed it out and started like selling packages. And then just like the enthusiasm and the fun that you exude through the whole process really kept me in such a high elevated place. And you're really relatable. I think that there was never a time where I felt like you were above me or below me. I felt like an equal. And that to me is really important because, I mean, you don't want to be in this position where you're back in that people pleasing mode or even trying to please your coach, because then you're just regurgitating the same shit you were doing before. So it felt like an equal. I was treated like an equal, and it allowed me to show up as the leader that I really have been wanting to be. And then, yeah, like I said, it's like you're really investing in being around the energy of people getting what you want and energy of people who are going after what they want. Because if I'm being honest, before I started investing in myself, I mean, all my girlfriends are in corporate 9-to-5s that they don't like. So all day I'm subconsciously hearing a bunch of shit. Yeah. And that is great because they're my best friends and like we can definitely go there. But it's our job as leaders and coaches to be responsible for who we're listening to and who we're surrounding ourselves with. So even like being on those couple group calls, it was like, cool, these women are getting up, they're creating shit, they're posting stuff. Like, I'm going to go create stuff and post stuff, you know? So yeah, I think the biggest thing was just being around the energy of fun and just like you said, just fucking do it. Like that was the pull.
Right. That's so cool. I love it. It's always fun to hear. And did you even do the guidebooks and the video trainings, or you just were like, I got my niche, I know my program, I'm going to sales? Like you didn't need all those. Yeah.
I didn't. I think I did one of the speaking videos. But yeah, it was really the sales. And then Amanda also is really good at copy and just like cut that out, do that, put this there. And it's like, okay, cool. So that's the style I like. I like really like get to the point, all this stuff. But if I ever going to do a webinar, like it's there. Or if I ever wanted, there's like webinar training in there, creating like your first package. And so we did a lot of that stuff one-on-one, but it's all there. Like, I think it's really for the woman who it's like your toolkit, like open up your toolkit and go through all you want. I just skip forward to sales because we got that program so nailed down and like the workshop was coming up. So it just happened so fast. And yeah, I'm really grateful that I had the support because I don't know what else. I literally don't know what the month would have gone like if I hadn't hired you. Like I just can't. I don't know what would have happened with my business. I just don't know.
You would have had that workshop and then you would have just kept doing what you were doing before.
Yeah, I would have just kept spinning my wheels. And so, yeah, I can't even put it into words like what it would have been like. Right.
I love that. It's so true. And then you just stepped up and it was the most terrifying thing for you to do, to invest in yourself. But then you made the money back but then you learned the system. And now you have a signature program and you have a nailed down niche and you know who you're speaking to in the ideal client. And
boring, like snooze fest. And I sent out a series of emails that were the most vulnerable, raw. I was so afraid to press send every time, but I booked a call every single one. And it's just being around that energy that's like, you can go and do that. Like you have full permission. Being around that energy is what got me to take those bigger steps, which is going to get the clients to see you as an expert and see you as a leader so that they'll invest in your stuff. If we don't show up in that way, it just becomes another email like in their inbox. And so that was a huge moment. I forgot to mention that. Like I basically told people the story of how my intuition granted me 10 more lives. And it's still to this day, like one of the most powerful email sequences I ever created. And that's basically what was the second funnel for those next, like, I think I signed up like 7 women from that funnel and then like 5 from the workshop.
Huge. Because that story, like, so just to give people a quick hint, obviously get on Tori's list and follow her. But, you know, she had this, you were telling your story, but it was all in one big email. And I said, let's bring that into tease us, like, and then come back tomorrow. Check your inbox tomorrow. So really high engagement and ability, but also showcasing your expertise. Like I did this, I went through this hard point, but here I am. So there's a really good balance between being really vulnerable and also like, but then here I am now and what I've overcome now and where and now.
And that's such a good point too, because you don't want to be like a sob fest in their email. Like you want to tell them your story from an empowered place. And so breaking it up like that really gave the people a chance to follow my journey and like just see me from where I went from to like here today. And that's really what the sale is. It's same thing. You're taking them from where they are now and showing them the vision of where they can end up. And that's what Amanda's sales process takes you through. Like you literally paint the picture with them, and they're either ready for that picture or they're not. That's not your job, but your job is to ask for it when they are ready.
Right.
I think that's what makes it really unique.
I love it. And I'll do a whole Facebook Live on the sales process for everyone watching, so that we can do that. So what is the thing that you're most proud of that you created for yourself, that you're just like, yes?
Oh man, I think I'm most proud of. I'm thinking of a lot of things, which is a good sign. I'm most proud of just showing up. It's scary as fuck to be an entrepreneur. Every day is so unpredictable. There's predictable moments and some predictable income depending on how your business is set up. But, life still happens as your business grows or doesn't grow. And I think what I'm most proud of is like through all of the transitions, and I have had a huge year of just change. Like I got unengaged. I moved across the country. I did that while building a whole new level of my business. And I'm really proud of not backing down and not getting off the roller coaster, because there's so many times in my business where I'm like, this is a failure. I should just go back to the 9-to-5, or I should go get a full-time job. And I think I'm really proud of myself for not doing that and just sticking with this, because I know this is what I'm here on this earth to do. And I've never once looked back. Like I'm really proud that I haven't gotten off the roller coaster. And anybody watching, like if you're in a turbulent place, like congratulations, you're in the right place, because the roller coaster is where it is. If you get off the roller coaster, you go back to square one. And so stay on it. Stay on it. Put your arms up and celebrate, because like it's only going to get crazier.
Right. And it comes down to really trusting and elevating the levels of new normal.
Yeah.
Like just trusting and the feeling, and this is normal, and it's supposed to be good, and it's all beautiful, and it's easy, and I can do this, and I'm a steward, and I'm helping other people, because you just changed 15 women's lives by teaching them, and way more than 15. So tell us, like, what is next for you? Like, you're not going back to the 9-to-5. You're totally committed to your business. 2 feet in. And you have an awesome Instagram, and I know, how could we get in touch with you, and what's next for you?
Yeah, so I am actually going to go on tour. So I'm planning a tour for my retreat, She's Illuminated. It's going to be a West Coast to Colorado tour where I'll be teaching 2-day intensives in certain cities. So I'm in the works of planning that for 2019. And I have a podcast launching in 2019, which I'm really excited about. And most recently, I am opening up another round of the Sister Mind. I'm going to be doing part 2 in 2019. So a lot of like big things coming. I think what I'm most excited about is starting to meet more people in person and going into these new cities and confidently sharing this message of the laws of the universe. I really am excited to teach women how to manifest beyond just the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is like this tiny little piece in this huge puzzle. And to see their faces light up when they get the full blueprint and finally feel empowered to ask for what they want. Because I think the biggest reason why we don't ask for what we want is because we don't know how to get there. So we give up on it. We're like, well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to ask for this other thing that seems way more possible. And so with the laws of the universe, I'm really excited to botch that and show people that there's a different way. And yeah, I'm really excited to meet and hug everybody in person. Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like I remember us talking, I'm like, you're going to have no problem with this, because you love being in people. You love being in person with people. You love people, and you had the advantage because you had already had all these yoga students, and that's what I had when I first started. I was a yoga teacher, years ago, and I had a follow. It wasn't like a following, but I had people. Yeah, I had a following. All these people loved me. They loved my class, and so I had these easy people, warm market around me. And a lot of you, and here I'm like, you're like showing. I'm like, how can you not show up? Look at you. You're so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, how's that even possible? So most of the people that are attracted to, speaking, it's because you have a gift, and you have the gift of gab, and you love to connect, and you have a story, and people are already attracted to you, but you're the missing link is you don't know the niche, you don't know the signature system, you don't know who your ideal client is, and then you don't know how to sell. And that's why people work with me, so that I can help them, nail those things down in a very quick time and then get out there. But it really comes down to your tolerance level to be able to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like 100% it. And I think, again, I want us as business coaches to start talking about it more. And even as women, start sharing like where it's hard for you to receive, because when we can start to open up those conversations, we all invest in each other and we all get to make more money. Like, not that that's what this is all about, but money is we're on the planet Earth. It's a resource to create opportunities and fun and joy. And that is why you're here. So if money is a channel to get there, then let's call in as much of it as possible, right? Like,
and it's just a tool to do. If you're already a good person, it's going to amplify your good. So let me ask you a little bit about these 11 or 12 laws. Where are they being sourced from? Like, where did you learn about these?
So I call them my mentors. I've never met them, but I hang out with Oprah, Bob Proctor, like Abraham Hicks all day, every day. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, hours and hours of Bob Proctor teaching on his 11 hidden laws. I've read the 7 keys of spiritual success. So there's all these like little keys. Wayne Dyer has 9 principles to manifesting. And then I just created my own version of all of that. I'm like, okay, as someone who's brand new to all this, I've like read all this stuff. These make the most sense. Like, this takes me through the journey of money. There's a law of divine compensation, the law of action. Now I'm in action. The law of correspondence, which means everybody's a mirror to you. So I just pulled from my mentors and created my own little galaxy of what I find to be the most helpful steps to leveraging more meaning and fulfillment in your life. So yeah, and this might sound out there, but I usually download most of my wisdom from the universe. I mean, I am a soul. We're all souls having this human experience. But if we can sit down and discipline ourselves enough to listen, I mean, you'll be surprised with some of the stuff you come up with. Sales stuff, like it could be business stuff. Like, you get ideas and creative hits. And that's what this one was a total creative hit. And I was like, wow, like, women need to know this. Everybody needs to like know about these keys.
Yeah, I remember mining your goal in one of our conferences and saying like, you're like, but here's what I think, and this is what I'm passionate about. So if you're like, what is my niche? It's like, what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? What do you love to talk about? What do you do that nobody knows that you do, but you're totally into it? And you're like, meditating and channeling, and then you're also like Bob Proctor YouTube channel all the time, right? Like, this is who you are. Awesome. So the other thing with all that is, isn't that like attractive? Like, don't you guys all want to go and find out what are these laws? Like, it's mysterious. And I remember us playing with the names.
Yeah, we were playing with a bunch of names, like the 11 hidden laws, which is technically Bob's. And then we came up with the 12 laws to get anything you want. So that's really what it was. It was like, what am I obsessed with talking about? It's like the 12 laws of the universe. Who am I obsessed with talking about? Well, literally, it applies to everything: your career, your intimacy, your love life, your like everything. And so then we nailed down, okay, well, what topic are you most excited to talk to about? And it was mainly careers, like career transitions. And those I've developed more of a niche in relationships as well, because I've identified where how you show up in your relationship is actually just how you go to work and show up as well. So when we can tag team and like really use these laws to identify key patterns, I think that's like such a big thing. Yes. Now we're on to something when it comes to manifesting. Now we're not self-sabotaging anymore. And our call really allowed me just to outline all of that and get excited about it, because when it's clear, it's more exciting. When it feels like a bunch of shit in your head, like, you're going to run from it. So the name was huge, and the name was really enticing. And it got people excited, because who doesn't want to get what they want? And it's also a system, like Amanda keeps saying, like, when you know what system you're taking your people through, it's so much easier just to show up in that container and be a leader.
And then like, you can take that signature system and make a 2-day workshop retreat.
That's what I did with the retreat, the tour. Yeah.
And then you repurpose the system and you get known for that system. And then like, now you're doing your podcast and you're doing your sister mind, like everything it's the backbone of your business, and it's really important to have a signature system. And it is mined from your past, and you have those two stories from your own story, from your own career transition from real estate to retail to yoga and all these pieces, and also getting unengaged, right? So like it's all as close as your neck vein, but you can't see it. And then you have your system. What is your passion? So just hopefully this is helping everyone listening, like to give you some ideas of what is your system, what is your signature, and then obviously then you create a signature talk that is a preview of your signature system.
Yep, and that's what the mini workshops I do are. So yeah, it all makes sense. Just wait, like there's a whole. It makes it so much easier, and there's still work to do. But when you have that figured out, the work is no longer as daunting, is what I learned through this whole process. And and I think that we're one last thing, like because I just sense that maybe some women are like, well, what if my niche changes? It's like you have to start with one thing. Like you just got to start with one thing. Of course, that can change and evolve as you do, but your commitment to that one thing is going to initiate so much success. Yeah. And that's what I also learned with you is like, we've talked about so many different things, but it's like, what are you really obsessed with talking about? And like, can you commit a few years to just talking about this and see what happens? And it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's true. Just nail down one thing and that exactly. So congrats. So you tripled your prices, quadrupled them now. You got clients. What would you say to someone who's like, I want to do this with Amanda, but I'm not sure, or I'm too scared of the investment? Because actually we've doubled the prices since you worked with me, because I see the value of the program, and it's, and it's also hands-on. Like I'm right there with you guys. Like I'm like shoulder to shoulder as a done with you program. It's not like 700 people and you only talk to the mentor. Like they're like so far away, you don't even touch them. Like,
no.
We've all been in programs like that where they're like, like untouchable. So like, like, I like how you said, I felt like Amanda was my equal. And then I also helped you raise yourself up to really be that leader versus whatever. So what would you say to people who are like, maybe
I would say same thing I said in the beginning. It's like, are you more afraid of staying where you are? Or are you afraid of your success? Because that's something you can easily get coached in, and like we could do that in an hour. So if it's your success and this investment that you're afraid of, do it and it's going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. You're actually going to be so excited and so lit up again around your business. I was scared shitless. I like didn't even hardly sleep that night, but the return on investment and the amount of what I learned in the 3 months, and I'm still learning, is just do it.
Pretty simple. Well, the thing is, like, it just cannot not work.
No, it's literally one of the laws of the universe. If you invest in yourself, the universe will invest in you back. It's a law. That's just how the world works. So if you show up and do this and invest in yourself, you will get clients. You will, like, the universe will show you so much support and so many different things. I had clients coming out of the corners of the earth that I didn't even realize they watched my stuff. And that's how it all works, because I took that huge leap. And of course I got met with what I needed. So that's what it is. It's a bold leap in the direction of your desire. And your desire has to mean more than your fear and you're playing small. It has to mean way more.
Yeah. I love this conversation because it's really just so black and white, so easy and simple. And it may not be me, it may not be Tori, but there is someone, and you're being called to step up. I think we're both representations of JFDI, just up and do it and be bold. And I heard some statistic the other day that by and I'm not always the most detailed, I need to research this, but it said that by 2050, 50% of Americans, maybe it was 2030, 50% of Americans will be self-employed.
I can believe that.
And like the energy you have to go through to believe in yourself and to receive and to sell yourself and have a package and have a brand and have a system, all these things are so imperative. So if you have the nudge to do it, I would get in on that ASAP, because there's going to be half of the United States is going to be needing people like us to lead them.
That's so true. And I wish I would have done it a year ago. Honestly, I wish I would have done it sooner. So it's either don't do it now and like propel, or wait another year, because you're going to need a mentor. It's just, that's how it works. Like we can't unneed each other. You could trudge through it on your own, but it's so much faster and easier when you have someone there.
And the other thing is too, like, I mean, I've done like I do a lot of YouTube videos and you know, I've done things with mentors or learned e-learning versus
Mm-hmm.
learning. But there's something to be said when you step up and in, like that law of compensation, I guess, when you actually invest in yourself, then what happens, like all of a sudden you're able to receive even more because
Yeah.
you've let it go. It's a law of sacrifice. You've released money and let go in faith. I say the story of sort of like Jesus like breaking the bread and then the bread multiplying like in faith and multiplied and fed like 6,000 people. And
Yeah.
it's like you break the bread, you break open the Amex.
And that's what happens.
And I'm doing it like even with me, like I invest in Facebook ads. Like I'm like, okay, like, but it's trust. It's such a big.
Yeah, you have to go for it. And also, I think I remember, I don't know if it was you I was talking up to, but it's going to be hard for you to charge what you really want to charge if you're only investing in e-courses where you're like behind the computer for $5. Like you're not going to be able to ask somebody for 1,000, 2,200, 5K, 10K if you're not going to do that for yourself. And that's just the bottom line at all. That's it right there. And that's the same thing with breaking your bread. It's like when you open up your wallet, then you can ask other people to do the same thing because you can guide them because you know how scary it is. And that's what I learned with Amanda was like, now I can step into those bigger money conversations because I just did it. So now what?
I just did it and now I'm pumped and you can do it too. Exactly. Right. I like what you're saying because also it's like people just do the math. Like if you're charging, you know, $600, but you want to make six figures, you know, or 8,000 or 10,000 a month just to start, then you're going to have to work with a lot of people.
That's what I was doing, and it was exhausting, like 20 people at a time. And even then, you're not going to be able to be the coach you want to be with that. No. So, like, there's no way. And that's what Amanda also helped me with was scaling and getting clear on, like, okay, what is it that I'm going to spend most of my time doing? I just had that one program running, and then, like, I think a couple smaller workshops. Mm-hmm. Whereas before I had, like, I was just shooting shit out because I just needed the money or I just wasn't making any sense. So
I know, right?
Really helped.
Yeah, poosh. Yeah, exactly. It's so much better to have the system now. So good. All right, everybody. Well, Tori, tell us how we follow you on getting your list and Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most at I am Tory Washington. And then I actually have a free gift for you guys. If you want to get an intro to the 12 laws of the universe, I have something called the 12-12 experience. You'll learn the 12 laws over 12 days. So all you have to do is go to torywashington.com/the-1212-experience. And Amanda, I can send you that link as well. Just add your email and it will send them to you.
Yeah. When we're done with this, come on my Facebook Live on my business page or personal or in the group, and then just type it in yourself and people can follow you and comment. That sounds great. Okay. So torywashington.com/the-1212 experience.
Yes.
And then I am Tory Washington on Instagram. I actually was like, Tori, can you teach me your Instagram?
Yeah.
So you've helped me a lot too with, you know, getting that going. And
I love Instagram. It's so fun.
Yeah, I know. And you're so good at it too. So definitely follow her and you can learn a lot. And anyone who's like, all right, this was awesome. I see Anna Kate is saying I've been driving and listening, needed this today, been stuck in my own head. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Get on out of the head. It just, you know, do you ever just get sick of yourself? I mean, I have times where I'm just like, I'm sick of myself. I can't take it anymore.
That's the life of an entrepreneur. We're sitting by ourselves like most of the time. So you're not alone, sister. I feel you.
Yeah, no, I know. Exactly. So if you all are like watching this and you're like, okay, I want to have results. I want to be Amanda's next success story. I want to be on her Facebook Live show. I want to invite you guys. Two things. I have my webinar, which is how to be a standout speaker and attract 3 to 5 clients with every talk you deliver. I will put the link to that. If you're interested in hearing about the Moxley Method and the Speak Your Way to Success program, the link to that is amandamoxley.com/Moxley Method. And we've got Tori's success stories on there now. It's an information page with all the details. Then you can apply on there, or I'll give you the link. You can apply for a breakthrough session with me or one of my breakthrough coaches, and we'll walk you through, you know, like, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And if there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be, we can talk about what it looks like to work together. and make a decision. So thank you, Tori, so much for being here and your
Thank
time.
you for having me. Of course. It's been a blast. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Yes, come to Utah and I'll come to your 2-day retreat.
I'm thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Salt Lake, right? Yeah.
You know it. Yeah, it's on the way to Colorado, kind of.
That's what we were thinking. Yeah. We were thinking like Salt Lake and then go to Colorado and end in like the mountains. So it's spinning. I'm like, we're getting the whole logistics together.
And are you doing it with a coworker or, I mean, colleague, or by yourself, or you have a band, or what? Who are you doing?
It's going to just be me. I have like a tour manager, I guess you would call her, and she's helped me with like the logistics and stuff. And then we're also getting sponsored by, hopefully cross my fingers, Toyota to like give me the car. We kind of want to make it like a documentary. So there's a lot of like big vision, but it could go in multiple directions, but it's going to be me and her. And then my goal is to partner with other teachers like in the local communities that I go to. So
other yoga teachers?
Yoga teachers, spiritual leaders, getting them involved. I've realized I live in San Diego right now, and it's like the backyard of the wellness community, but not every state is like that. So that's what this is about, is like opening up these conversations in these other places.
Right on. I like that. We have a pretty good community like that here, but happy to connect you with anyone that I know here.
Yeah, I'll definitely be in touch for sure.
Cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you here, same time, same place for next week's Facebook Live. Thank you, Tori. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.